Go in, enjoy Lombard support. We are proud partners of Lombard support here at the greenhouse. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. I know I've seen a lot of you guys before. How many of you are here for the first time today? Nice. Welcome. Well, you guys are going to love it. I'm confident in that. And if not, I promise I will give you your money back. For those of you who have been here before, you know the drill. But to newbies, we have two entrepreneurs that are up here presenting their idea, what they're building here in Tampa Bay. They have 6 minutes to do that. Then it is 20 minutes of Q&A from the audience from you guys. This is our secret compact together. They bare their souls and bare what they're building out here. And in exchange, you guys will provide them advice, ask questions, get clarification on things, and most importantly, think in your mental Rolodexes of the connections you can make to help them grow their businesses right here in Tampa Bay. I would like to, of course, thank Cow Coffee, delicious Cow Coffee, always what keeps me upright, keeps us jovial, jocular, and have been supporters since the beginning. I'd like to thank my fellow organizers, Betsy, Richard, JJ, Chris, and I would doubly like to thank Carly, hiding in the jungle there, taking diligent notes. Those notes you see in effect in our weekly emails. One to tell you who is presenting, one to tell you who presented, more about their company, how to support them, and where to find more information about the events that we'll be talking about in the middle portion of this fun time today. My name is Sean Kennedy. I will stop talking and introduce you to Hitch. Folks who have taken advantage of the 1 Million Cups Passport program. They've presented in Orlando, they've presented in Tampa. You as a presenter can present in any one of the 76 communities throughout the United States and Puerto Rico. Thank you very much.
There's about 6 seats up here too, if anybody doesn't want to stand.
Thank you very much. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody welcoming us here to 1 Million Cups St. Petersburg. We're very excited to be out here with you. I'm Eric Torres, the Chief Marketing Officer for Hitch Crowdsourced Delivery. Chuck Pasquato is the President of Hitch Crowdsourced Delivery. And we are exactly what we say. We're a crowdsourced delivery company. I'm sure everybody here has heard of Uber, correct? So think of us like Uber for delivering packages. We launched at the end of last year, December of 2014. And really, we consider ourselves a soft beta of the Tampa Bay market. We are active, we are accepting deliveries, and we are making deliveries, or people are utilizing the app are. And we're getting ready to expand out to the Orlando market and look at various other markets around the country. But we're excited to be here. We really want to make things work here in Tampa Bay. This is our home, and it's important for us to be here. So thank you again for having us. So I'll tell you a little bit about who we are. The way we consider it, there's somebody going where you need your package to go every day. There's a 100% chance you can look anywhere. Morning commutes, going to school, going to daycare, wherever it might be. I'm a walker and I talk with my hands, so I apologize if that's bothering anybody. But one of the things that we noticed is, since there's a 100% chance, why not utilize the empty cargo space that's available? If we can utilize that and leverage that empty cargo space in everybody's car, we can do one of two things. We can assist shippers to have more affordable on-demand delivery of the packages. Think of small business who can't compete with an Amazon, can't compete with some of the big box stores for delivery purposes. Now all of a sudden they have a delivery option available to them, and you as a consumer have on-demand opportunities to get those items that you want and need that same day. Amazon's gotten us predisposed now to have even Sunday deliveries, one-day deliveries, 2-day deliveries. Now what if you can do that at a fraction of the cost to your consumer? So it certainly helps. And on the opposite side of that, for what we consider the traveler, which can be anybody in this room, can be anybody outside, what if you can utilize the empty space in your car to monetize your travel? What if you're going to work already and you pull up the app and you see, hey, there's a package on the way from home to work, and I can make an extra $10. Might sound like much, but compound that on the way home as well, compound that over a week, you can talk about $5,000 or $6,000 in the year. If you can do one of those a day, and it doesn't take much, you're already going the way that you're going anyway. So Hitch is founded by leaderships in transportation. Chuck has extensive operations experience in transportation. Our CFO, George Montaglio, has significant experience in the area of finance. Myself in marketing have about 17 years. I've worked for NASCAR, I've worked for Nielsen, and have been in various startup and solo opportunities for quite a while now. And then in technology, our manager out there is Joe Bennett, and he resides right now in Nashville. So we have a diverse crowd that's available out there to help us get this off the market. So we consider, why ship when you can Hitch? So as I told you, let's say we have Sally who has a pair of headphones, she sold on eBay. We got Ben over here who happens to be going to work. Instead of Sally having to go to the post office or to create a form and have UPS pick it up, and for her customer to have to wait a week or 5 days to get it delivered, what if Ben is going somewhere locally and he can have that delivered for her at a fraction of the cost? It just makes sense for us to be able to monetize that cargo space that he has available to him. And then think about the opportunity also to help when it comes to being green. What we mean by that is, every time a delivery has to happen, you have to load up the UPS, FedEx, USPS truck. You know, what if we can go ahead and help remove one of those trucks from the roadway? I mean, you're traveling anyway, people still have to travel to work, but what if we can help remove just a little bit of that carbon footprint? You know, it's certainly one of the ancillary benefits of utilizing the application. Like I said, it's very self-explanatory. After we're done, if anybody needs help loading the app or would like to know more about it, we're going to have it to show. But it's very simple for us to be able to use it, and it's very user-friendly. So again, we deliver every day. We call it tapping into a community of travelers. It's really important for us to believe that it's a community. Yes, it's a business model. Yes, people are interested in making revenue opportunities. But we feel it's only going to work if it's a community with people helping each other. It's one thing to hand your package to the UPS guy, and it might be your local UPS guy who you know every day, or it might not be, or your USPS guy. But if we can help create a community over here where you know the person, or the person knows you, or you develop a relationship, or even you don't know that person, but still it's creating a community to help each other out. We believe that's very important in the shared economy. So we mentioned a couple things. We mentioned capture commutes. Again, it just makes sense. You're already going there. Why not monetize and travel available when you want to? Earn when you want, where you want. So you pull up the app. You decide. You tell us what you want to see. Hey, listen, I only want to see things a mile out of my way. I don't want to go anywhere out of that. Or if I want to go 15 miles out of my way, I don't mind doing that. We'll show you that, and we'll break it down for you. You can give us a starting point and an ending point. So if you know where you're headed to, and if you know the address, I just know I'm headed to the Publix downtown, you can put Publix and it'll pull up the address for you. And if not, you can just tell us near me, and then we'll show you what's available around your area as well. And then we talk about being socially connected. We talk about getting your packages from A to B. Simple to use. We talk about environmentally friendly. We talk about being socially connected. We just talk about suggested route guidance. Cameras are integrated with all the phones and technology. And then you have a profile editor where we told you that you can tell us what you want to see when you want to see it. And then if we just, a couple of things very quickly, we look at this map, and Ford has showed us where the technology hubs and Huffington Post are around the country. And one of the things that we found out was that Tampa doesn't show up. St. Petersburg doesn't show up. And we want to make this work over here so that we can be one of those stops. It's important for us. We don't want to be one of those companies that leaves. We want to be one of the companies that stays here and helps put Tampa on the map. So it's important for us to make this work here. It's available on the App Store. It's available on Google Play. You can follow us socially. And that's Hitch Crowdsourced. All questions? Yes, sir.
I'm not. Can you explain what kind of freight you're talking about?
So, on our terms of service, we have certain limitations of what the freight is available. We can't technically limit you because people don't work for us. But with the application, because of insurance rules, we tell you exactly. Hey, listen, really shouldn't use the app if it's over X. But that being so, you don't become, a delivery truck per se. But that being said, it could be anything. It could certainly be tickets to a baseball game. It could be a cup of coffee if somebody wants coffee delivered. Starbucks. It could be groceries. It could be furniture. It really doesn't matter. We break it down so you can say, hey, listen, I'm walking. I'm traveling by bike. I'm traveling by car. I'm traveling by SUV. And determine what the person who's shipping has said it will fit in. You wouldn't see it. So, for example, if they say, I need somebody in an SUV, but you only have a bike that day, you're not going to see that opportunity. That's just the way that works. Yes, sir, in the back.
How do you deal with tracking the item that may be shipped?
Right. So what we call travelers, again, anybody here, you have to obviously have a phone to utilize the service. Once you get to the pickup location, the app instructs you to take a picture of the pickup. That goes ahead, and all of a sudden, now the GPS, we ask you before you decide to become a traveler that we're going to track your GPS as using it. So the person, as long as the person has the phone, and they can't complete the pickup until they take a picture, that triggers the phone to start the GPS tracking. So you as the consumer really get an idea of where the phone is at based on their GPS on their phones. And that's how we can track it. When they deliver the package, They're also prompted to take a picture in the event that the person we wanted to leave it to is not there. So if I needed to leave it here at the greenhouse and nobody was here, I put it by the door and I take a picture. That gets sent to you so you know that it was left in front of the green door over here on 2nd Avenue. And you can have a colleague, hey, the package is there, you can come get it, but you'll receive information. We also have a holding period for that person to get paid by a few days, I believe, correct? Where 24 hours. So that way, if the package is not there, you can contact us back and we'll go ahead and really start a process to help you and put you in connection with that traveler, which you have access to that anyway, you can chat. But if the package is not there for any reason and you need help, we ask you to contact us. But really, we feel confident. It's based on the fact that we're tracking that information. You're getting access to that person completely in terms of two-way communication, and you're getting a picture of where it was left, that the package has gotten there safely. Next, in the purple shirt in the back.
Yeah, thank you. Could you be specific on your pricing structure? For example, if I order 500 business cards, they charge me $5.99 for shipping and handling.
Sure.
So what kind of pricing structure do you actually have for particular items, particular location?
Right. So really the benefit for Hitch is really local within a certain distance. For example, if something is coming, for some of my business cards I've gotten in the past, I come from San Francisco, it doesn't make sense. I can't compete with pricing from San Francisco to Tampa, Florida, for example. But if you have a local printer in St. Petersburg and Tampa, to give you an idea, we have a client in Ellis Park who utilizes the app service to get materials. They do sports shirts and jerseys for high schools. And their distributor is over in Lakeland because they're only one of the people who have been verified by Nike, I believe, to utilize the technology. So it was charging about $60 for UPS to get same-day delivery from Lakeland to Ellis Park, depending on weight, sizing of the box, and timing for delivery. We don't operate on weight, we don't operate on sizing, we operate strictly on mileage. They utilize us and it costs them $18 to get the same thing that we paid $60 before. So that gives you an idea of the price savings available. Yes, ma'am.
Great pitch. And how do you ensure the package that you are traveling? So if I have something valuable that I want you to take on and have it shipped from there, how do I make sure that it's been properly insured and that it's safe?
Right. So that's a great question, and that is one of the biggest obstacles that we have. Because we're not only a new company, but because crowdsourcing is such a new avenue, a lot of insurance companies really don't want to touch it right now until you can prove volume. Once you prove volume, they love you. But until you prove volume, we can't help you. So one of the things we say is, listen, if you have a Rolex, don't ship it on Hitch probably, you know. But we feel fairly confident because I hate to say we're big brothers. That's not what we know. But what I'll tell you is that when somebody signs up and they become a traveler, you've signed up not only with socially, you've given us your bank account because we've got to pay you somehow. So we know who your bank is. We know who your friends are socially. We're tracking your phone. That kind of be a bonehead. If you're going to steal something, because if you steal something, we're going to turn you into the authorities. And we're able to track you that way. And we do that for security purposes. You know, it's one of the things. It's like, listen, we have all this information on you. We're not going to share it with anybody, but don't steal something.
Well, I tell you, it's a Rolex in there, but it's actually a swatch. And so I say, well, you didn't ship the right thing. Is it my word against yours? Because it's a sealed package.
Right, it is a sealed package. We do have, we're about to partner, or we're looking at partnering with a company like Square Trade, where it's an independent person who will look at that analysis, because we're not a delivery company. We're really the platform. Think of us like a marketplace. Think of us like a Craigslist, putting two people together to make a transaction happen. But we understand that those things are going to happen, right? And we're not going to be able, and some of them are going to fall through the cracks. So we understand it's important to have a reputable organization that can be a third-party observer to come in and stand up and kind of be that arbitrator between the two parties. And we think that's the best way to go ahead and run that. Yes, ma'am.
How do you ensure that the packages you're delivering aren't illegal?
Great question. Great question. And the answer is, well, the answer is there's illegal substances that are delivered every day via USPS, FedEx, and UPS, right? They statistically monitor every package that's available that's going through, and they catch some, and they don't catch some. And the same thing's going to happen with Hitch. In our terms of service, they can't send through illegal substances in the market that you're at. For example, if we're in Colorado and marijuana is legal, that's okay. But if we're here and it's not, it's not. But we can't stop people from doing that. And the same way UPS and FedEx can't stop as well. If it's caught, different story, but we're not the people catching it, we're not the people looking for it. So we can't insure it.
So I guess my biggest concern would be, you'd probably easily be able to get off on the legal charges because you are just that one step person that just happens to be a pitch. But what about the safety of the deliverer? I mean, you're handling drugs. If someone lots of money. How do I ensure the safety of the people that are in this delivering it?
Right, so the person who picks the package, not knowing what it is, cop pulls them over, and it's a whole thing of marijuana. I get you 100%. And it's no different for us really than an Uber driver. Uber driver will pick up a drug dealer who's loaded with everything, and they don't know, you know? But it's the same thing with, again, the UPS and FedEx driver. He doesn't know what's in the back of his van either. He can only take your word on it that it's available to them. We'll certainly work with people as that comes by, and that's an option that hasn't hit us yet. We know that it probably will in some point in the future. But right now, like I said, we're really taking people on their word in terms of services. They can't do it. If they do it, then we'll certainly work with the authorities now. Yes, sir.
Yeah, two questions. One, in your presentation, you didn't really address like the size of the local delivery market, so I don't know. I was trying to think, I can't think of the last time I had to get something within 10 miles and get it from point A to point B unless it was me going to work in miles, right? So I guess that's the first question. The second is, in terms of addressing Uber, failure to address Uber in the presentation. We already know that Uber is experimenting with this. They're doing ice cream delivery and all these other ways as a test to see can we pick up a product from point A, move it to point B. Or what is your, what's your end game with this? Is it we want to become an acquisition target from them? We're differentiating because we see Uber and Lyft, and like Lyft is struggling pouring lots of money just to catch up to Uber. So if Uber is local delivery, which looks like they're doing, what's the Hitch plan? What can make Hitch interesting to a VC based on that?
So great questions, and I'll address the first one about the delivery area. So really it can be, we say local, and I'll give you an example. And I'll give you an example that's personal to me. My wife is an attorney, and she had to send cupcakes to another attorney who sent her a client. And so she called me, she says, I ordered the cupcakes, they charged me $20 for delivery. I was like, hello, why didn't she use Hitch? So that was an argument at home for a little bit. But she forgot because it wasn't a frame of mind. She was able to call back, she was able to cancel the delivery portion of it, and we picked it up and we were able to do it for $8 based on delivery and like the application. And it was about a 10-mile radius to come back and forth. So it really becomes, there's a point where there's an economies of scale where we can't compete. But as I mentioned, in those parts of Lakeland, which is not close, we're able to still do that for $18. And the part you're like, okay, well, who's going to go out there for $18? Well, let's round it up to 20. What if I'm going to Disney World with my kids and my wife, and I can drop off the baggage, and all of a sudden I paid for somebody's lunch, or I paid for a toy for the kids, just by dropping it off and head that way anyway. So really, there's a point of economies of scale. We talk about San Francisco to Tampa, where we can't compete. But within that local delivery range, within a respectable mile, let's say within 50 miles, we probably can compete quite well and exceed those price structures. As far as what the end game is, if Uber were to come to us tomorrow and says we'll give you $50 million for your application, yes, we're going to take it. Acquisition is certainly part of what we look at, but that's really, it would be remiss of me to say it wouldn't be. But really, we want to make the best application we can for our potential consumers and the public, and that is the paramount thing. If we go into this operating for acquisition only, and really only looking at this as a cash cow, we're not going to get the best product we can. We work on this product every single day. We solicit feedback from users every single day. It's important for us to do a good application first. Acquisition is second for us. In the tie in the back.
So Chris is shipping on the delivery mechanism to get it there. 24 hours later, I get paid. You take a percentage, obviously. That $8 delivery fee that I charged him to get those cupcakes wherever, you take a percentage of that $8. I get something deposited. What percentage you'll take?
Absolutely. So we share that with the traveler as well, because we're trying to be completely transparent in everything we're doing. So they get a breakdown of what it is. And it's no secret. So what we do is we take $1 first and foremost, and then we take a percentage per mile. We had done a little differently when we started off, because when we started the application, gas was astronomical. I don't think anybody anticipated that gas would go below where it is. So we changed that model where we utilize an average and an aggregate from the rates that the government uses for business travel. So we take $1 off the transaction, and we had looked at 5 cents per mile after that. So on that $8 transaction, there's $7 plus. The person will probably get $6.80. We take probably $1, $1.05 out of that $8 transaction. Really, we bumped it up. Right now, we're not taking anything because it's important for us to get traction for the application. So outside of what the credit card processor takes, the traveler at this point gets 100% of that fee. Eventually, that'll change and we'll kick in. But right now, it's important for us just to get traction. Okay. You, sir, that's right.
If I wanted to take part in this, I know that when I sign up for auto insurance, that I'm using my vehicle for resale or specifically. Is there, you had mentioned insurance earlier, what is, as a Hitch delivery participant, what's my liability? Do I need to change my insurance at all?
That's a good question. We had that question asked for us in Tampa. We're still working. We talked to somebody at Aon Insurance. We talked to a couple of different insurance brokers to work it out. Right now, because it operates almost as your own independent business, and what I mean by that is, again, think of us as that application source. So you're not working for Hitch. You're utilizing the Hitch app really to start your own business. I would say look at your individual liabilities on your policies and adjust them accordingly. As we gain traction, we'll be able maybe to assist the travelers in getting something for them that will be beneficial. We think so. At this point today, the best opinion that I can give you, the best advice would be check the individual policies and make sure you don't violate what your policies and liabilities are, because you don't technically work for Hitch. We don't have employees. We are strictly a marketplace to get in touch with somebody else. Yes, sir.
How do you solve the network effect? Your presentation makes a lot of sense, assuming that you have lots of travelers that are on the app and turning it on every morning and seeing. I'm not sure now if you want to deliver something, if you have enough drivers, if you have enough travelers so how do you get the word out there to get those people to sign on, to become travelers, to be available to deliver packages?
So we have really what we consider two parallel paths to market. We feel that the shipper is one demographic, and we feel the traveler is another demographic. Now, the traveler could be anybody, but we feel it would skew maybe a little bit younger, generational gap, maybe a little bit older. What I mean by that, if my dad he's retired now, my dad wants to go fishing with the Sunshine Skyway, between gas, fees to get up there, bait, coming back home, it's about $50. On a retiree's income, he can't do that every day. However, he makes one trip there, one trip back, he can. So those are really the two that we feel, young and retirees, we feel have that available time to do this. Now, the good thing is, one of the reasons why we chose Tampa and we stayed in Tampa is that our company also happens to be involved in delivery businesses, so we have access to several couriers through our own. So we'll fulfill those. If we can't have an available traveler, we'll fulfill that for you. This is important for us for you to understand how the application works to make sure these packages are delivered. And we have to utilize our own couriers to do that. We will. As we go to other markets, we have talked internally about possibly partnering with other couriers as well, just to make sure that those deliveries happen until the network builds big enough, we'll have enough traction happening all the time. Yes, sir. Right.
Is one of the metrics that you're using for your business the length of time from when it's picked up to when it's delivered? If I'm a shipper, I need to be able to tell the person who's shipping, so that it needs to be within 4 hours, or it's going to be the next day, or...
Right. So when you sign up to go deliver something, when you want something delivered for you, or you want something brought to you, I forgot my car keys over here and I want to drive back to St. Pete, and somebody pick them up, bring them to me. So it's not just shipping something, it's also delivering something to you. You'll get a time frame within there to be able to tell somebody else, say, hey, listen, it says it's going to be delivered between this time and that time. Once it's picked up, you'll get a notification that it's been picked up. That'll open up the chat feature for you with the person who's picked it up. So you can not only follow where it's at, you can say, hey, listen, I know it's supposed to be delivered in half an hour, but I'm leaving 10 minutes, are you close by? And they'll respond to you because they're getting push notifications on their phone back and forth. And they want to respond to you because they want to get paid. So we have no problem with that. But that is one of the metrics, but you do get that information up front so that you can adjust your schedule accordingly. Yes, sir.
As far as what limitations do you have for what's being delivered? I'll go as far as to say people, pets, kids. I mean, do you go that far?
No, these appliances.
Okay. Well, there have been times when I want to ship my own children out. Right? There's no wife wouldn't let me do it. But that being said, we all, in terms of servicing, not only legal substances, it says people, and it says pets as well.
That you do not.
That we don't recommend the app be utilized for delivery. Now again, we can't stop that from happening because we don't police that. That's not our job to police that. But it is in our terms of service that it is a violation of use of the application. Yes, sir.
Are you looking at strategic partnerships with businesses that have a regular schedule of a lot of deliveries on a regular basis and use your app and that application?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we have been focusing on over the last month and a half has been strategic partnerships. There's competition out there. As we're rolling out, other people are rolling out to market as well. There's no reason not to say the name Shipt. I'm sure you guys have heard of Shipt, and they're leverage on Publix. And that's always a concern for us to see that people are coming out, and we take it almost personal because this is our backyard, right? Don't come from Alabama, pretty much. This is Tampa. It's our backyard, but it's reality. So we have to look for partnerships to go ahead and strengthen that traction that we're trying to make in that particular local point. Yes, sir, back to problem.
I work with, as a cab driver before, we did deliveries, people call us up, they'll pick something up, come back, so this is a great source. My question is, you can partner up with all these realtors, because they deliver packages and they have to have it, the documents there that day, it usually costs them $90, so traveling from Tampa to Orlando, so that's a good statement. So if you partner up with all these real estate people that have these documents, you get people to pick that up. What is your other delivery source that you have? Because there is one in Tampa that does like UPS. Are you connected with them?
No, right now, like I said, we do own several courier companies through Lakeland and Tampa. So we have a network of our own employees that don't work for Hitch, they work for courier companies, but we can utilize them.
What's the name of that?
One of them is Bay Couriers, and then there's another one that's a construction company that does more heavy lifting construction at Lakeland, but we can utilize that space if we need to. But again, that's a default, that's a backup for us. Our goal is always to make sure there's an available traveler, because we feel, we're short-circuiting the process if we utilize our own. We feel we don't get really good data that we want back. So it's always important for us to make sure there's an available traveler or an available shipper, but we do have that resource to back up to make sure that package is fulfilled if it needs to be.
Is there, as far as assurance, like I know Uber has reviews that you can review each driver, or they have the same interface where you can review each driver. So, for example, John Doe's review that delivery guy, is there any way to tell that?
That's a great question. So we talked about a community of travelers and shippers. So yes, we do have that feature where not only can the shipper be rated, but the traveler can be rated as well. So, hey, the shipper wanted to send illegal drugs. It's horrible. Or this traveler was awesome. He got my illegal drugs there on time. So, yes, you can do that. And then when you're a shipper now, not only can you tell us how, the distance and as a traveler, what you want to see, but as a shipper, you can say, hey, listen, I only want to see 5-star rated travelers. I don't want to see a 3-star rated guy. So if you do that, that 3-star rated guy will never see your opportunity on his map when he logs in the morning. You only see who you want. We have one step further, which is called verified travelers. And when you talk about insurance, you have an option there for what we call verified travelers. As a traveler, you can say, listen, I want to be verified. And what that means for you as a traveler is I am willing to put my own personal credit card on file, and I will do it up to X amount of dollars, $10, $15, $25, whatever that fee is that you agree to. As a shipper, then you see that you can request only a validated traveler. What that means is that traveler says, I will guarantee the package is going to get there safely, otherwise I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to be responsible for it. And that helps you as a shipper feel more comfortable, because if I'm willing to go ahead and back that up myself, okay, that person, chances are they won't have to pay and they don't have to. So that certainly helps as well. Yes, sir.
How is a community, as us gathered together, can we help you grow this in your backyard?
So the biggest thing is usage, right? What I mean by that is, right now the company is bootstrapped. So, funding is one of the things that we'll look at down the road. But right now we're bootstrapped and we're okay there. Funding is always an issue. But the biggest thing is use it. And right now we just implemented the codes within the app for couponing. So if anybody wants to utilize the application to ship something, you can try it for free. The first one is free. If you just use the coupon code Hitch It, so Hitch It, one word, on your checkout, your first delivery, local delivery will be free. I believe it's within 25 miles that we learned that for, which is a fairly good amount of distance. I think that would be from Wesley Chapel to Tropicana Field, right? And that would be free. So that's the biggest thing. If they can just utilize the application, try it out for free, you can't get better than free, that will certainly help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you all again for coming. If you have any interest in sitting, we have about 4 empty seats all on this side. So please come on over. And normally I'm up here talking about all the events, which is I know the real reason you guys come here. But instead, all of these will be linked on our email at the end of the week. If you're not signed up, in the corner there's a list for it. Feel free to sign up. But real quickly, we're going to have Joe come up and talk about TEDx. You want to do it from there as well?
Yeah, I'm going to come up.
Just give a couple minutes, guys.
Just a quick plug, TEDx Tampa Bay is coming up again this year on September 5th. We'll be at the Palladium. It's going to be a really cool day. Obviously, if you've ever seen TED Talks, this is our local version of that. We've got some great speakers coming in from all around the region. TEDxTampaBay.com has all the details. We have the Craftsman House sponsoring the food, so your ticket will include a great meal from Craftsman House. The new restaurant, The Mill, is doing the beverages. They're going to have Kawa coffee, $3 beer. So that'll be cool. Body Electric is doing yoga in the morning at 8 a.m. So to get warmed up for the TED Talk, you can come at 8 a.m. and do a free session of yoga with the Body Electric, and then stay for the talk. And then if you've got a design bug in you, St. Pete Threads is, stpthreads.com is having a little contest to design the next TEDx t-shirt. So if you like designing a t-shirt, it's mostly glory as a prize. You'll get to see your shirt featured for sale at TEDx. I'll bring you up on stage and make everyone clap for you and all that good stuff. So if you like design something, stpthreads.com. And final plug, this shirt, Chad Miser's new shirt will be available in the next day or so there as well. Thank you.
Awesome. So again, we'll link to that at the end of our email. So if you have any other questions, see Joe back in the corner. So up next, we have Gary and Russ with Fustino Brothers. So please give them a warm round of applause.
Hello. Good. Brother Fustino Brothers, and I'm Gary Fustino. You probably know me from the area as a St. Pete Chamber Ambassador, as well as been nominated for the Good Worker Award last year, so I'm very proud of that. And my brother.
Hi, I'm Russ Fustino. I'm a programmer and a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional. Also, I just started as Director of Developer Evangelism at OutSystems this week, and CEO of Fustino Brothers.
And Richard Fustino, pictured here at the end, is not with us today. He's in town. I want to give him guitar lessons. He's our musician and our content expert for the ad. So let's get going. So why are we here, Russ?
Well, why are we here? Is it to get ideas about building cross-platform apps? How many IT professional tech folks we got out here? Kevin, a few of you. Okay. And is it to maybe get ideas on monetizing them? Any venture funding folks out here? A few of you. Okay. And then about identifying what makes a successful app. These are all ideas, right, that are good for discussion, expanding our networks, as well as perhaps mingling with celebrities. Anybody a celebrity here? No? A celebrity? We're all celebrities. Okay. Well, these ideas are great. We really appreciate any kind of discussion. We're going to actually share with you what we've learned on building the Jeff Hotel app. That guy that was on that front picture was Ian Anderson. That's right. We've got him right over here at Dr. Law, Clearwater. But we really need assistance to grow and scale and work with, what we've done to this point. So that's pretty much where we're at. And so, Gary, are we going to be building apps just for rock stars?
We want to build apps for celebrities. We want famous musicians, rock bands, actors, actresses, athletes, people that are well known. And the criteria, of course, is that they got to have lots of media out there. They got to be on the internet, saturated. Have a huge fan base. A group like Jeff Hotel, for example, has been around for 5 decades. So they got fans. They got over 60 million fans around worldwide. And the most important thing is they got to be active. They got to be doing touring right now. They got to be in theater. They got to be in clubs and so forth. So show them what we've done.
So yeah, the app basically looks like this. This is the Jeff Hotel app. We have official videos, fan videos, discography, tour dates, and links, all revolving around Jeff Hotel. It's in all the stores, so it's cross-platform. We learned quite a bit right during this process. Use of shared code is very important, and the tools that we use all generate shared code, which means we don't do the work once, we can use it across all the different platforms. So some of the tools include Xamarin, Unity, 3D, OutSystems, and Microsoft App Studio. These all produce apps for multiple platforms. In terms of monetization, what we've done is we've incorporated ads in the apps as well as in-app purchases and affiliate codes in the music store for the discography with Xbox Music, iTunes, Amazon, eBay, as well as a donations page. We have an agreement with Jeff Hotel and Ian Anderson. Basically, it's very, very simple, that we will go ahead and they endorse the app in exchange for us maintaining a database of their assets
as well.
Yeah, that's it. And so they don't want to be in the app business. Their bread and butter is ticket sales, music sales, merchandise sales, and this app will help facilitate that. So here's a quote from the James Anderson, who's the Jeff Hotel tour manager. Basically, the gist is basically have an intuitive interface and entertaining content, right? Very consolidated. We know the traits of a successful app. Basically, those that are going to be high in downloads, and if you're working with celebrities, you're going to get that automatically, so that problem is solved. And then also, the high performance, it's got to be very snappy, quick, and very important that the app does not crash. You know, only 16% of people will open up an app a second time if it crashes. So we built in crash reporting to give us a built-in check on that. So aesthetically pleasing, as well as we touch the masses of people. Gary's been very involved in the business community. Rich goes out to music awards and shows. He's our backstage pass right to a lot of concerts we go to. And I myself have helped educate over 1 million computer programmers in my career. So that is something that, you know, there's a lot of handshaking going on there. So Gary, tell us about the celebrity challenges and why they would want an app.
Well, in the 60s and 70s, it was the yellow pages. You had to have yellow pages. Then the 80s and 90s, you got into websites. Now, if you got content, you have to have an app for your smartphone, your tablet, and so forth. And what's the problem out there? What the challenge to celebrities, anybody that's famous, is that there's internet presence is really out of control. It's everywhere. There's sources of data and so forth that are there. Go back to the criteria. All right. Yeah, there we go. And what we're talking about here is they have Pinterest accounts, they have YouTube accounts, they have Flickr accounts, and stores. There's an enormous amount of stores. Amazon store, iTunes store, Xbox store, all for the music. How do you get people to consolidate? Even official stores. Justin Tall has their own official store, but not everything that they've created. They created over 72 albums is on their official store. So we got the other stores listed as well. They have Facebook, Twitter, links everywhere, bands, and so forth. So that is the challenge for most people. They don't just join the revenue streams as well. So I'll show an example.
So it's going to be consolidated, and this video we're going to show you, this was actually, we presented the app to Ian Anderson of Jeff Hotel, and Microsoft filmed this for us, and so let's go ahead and show this.
So let's show you the Jeff Hotel app. This is the first place.
You can see the entire video on Channel 9, the small
videos in one spot.
There he is.
And then these are all resources, right, that you have available either on your site, other sites, other properties, including your official Tell, official Facebook store, Xbox Music. One click and you are tied into the local music service. The good news is we got code base done, and a lot of it's shareable. Did you want me to fix you up with Jimmy Page?
Heck yes!
The show in the app was a dream come true, and without App Studio, this would have never happened.
I'm Russ Fustino, and this is my Windows app.
Watch this Surface Pro come over. It's going to open up the Jeff Hotel app on it. Isn't that cool? How about that, huh? All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Okay, well, thank you very much for 1 million cups and Coach the Greenhouse for being here. What I have is some contact information on these cards. Just pass them around in the section there. So
we'll have the slide deck up on that link later.
The slide deck is there, and so we can open up the questions.
Artists, and is this any way for business people?
Well, up-and-coming artists first, yes. We have a list that we are looking at, including bands like the Grateful Dead. We've got some Inroads there. Who else we got?
Local bands here.
Local bands. That's what we're talking about.
Well, if they've got an internet presence and they've got some information out there, we want to consolidate it.
Yeah, we could do that, but that criteria is very important. You know, the downloads is got to be there, you know, for any monetization model to work. And, you know, certainly the app is built so it's data driven, so we could just swap out the data and bring in a new band. But, you know, the thing is they got to be active, lots of downloads and lots of content is really the key there. Yeah.
Do you have any, have you tried to reach out to like Ron Sanders to try to see this here? And, you know, there's a number of people like that who live here, and you can reach them probably through Big Three, and they're a production studio, Village Zones.
Okay.
But they have a lot of talent that comes in and reports here.
Perfect.
And then Village also books a lot of talent.
Great.
Big Three.
Yeah, no, we haven't used that resource. It's a great idea, and thanks for bringing that up. I know we are very rich in musicians in this area. I mean, we see them all the time, like in clubs, and your jaw drops. Like, I can't believe I'm watching this guy from Cinderella, you know, and he's playing here at this bar. You know,
that's where text, you know, we have a lot of plays and living around there.
Cool, that's what we're looking for, that kind of information. Wayne back.
What's your business model? How do you make money?
So the monetization, like we mentioned, is based off of number one, high downloads, because then you're going to get the opportunity for high revenue. And we're looking at advertising, both the standard advertising that comes with the different platforms, as well as premium advertising. There's some vendors out there that'll pay $10 per impression versus 5 cents that you get in the marketplace. And then also we're looking at donations, right? That works. People just want to donate to help the cause. We're not looking at charging the initial app because we want to expand that app as much as possible. The place we really feel we're going to make the most money is with in-app purchases. So that would be additional grooming, additional work. That's exactly where we're at right now, is really assessing the entire monetization piece of this. And for example, with the Jeff Rotel app, we have a Jeff Rotel puzzle game, which will charge, $1 or $2 for, and then you have guitar lessons, and there's a lot of interest in that. We actually build in instrumentation to our code to determine who's clicking on what, to really help us determine the best monetization strategy. Yeah.
Is there any way to buy tickets for the data and if you buy tickets to the same app, you can create
Yeah, absolutely, there is, and if you bring up the download Rotel app and you go to the tour section, and you click on it, to get the details for a tour, there is a link to buy tickets, and it goes right to the...
That's what they like about it.
Yeah.
Is that
instant.
That the instant gratification is there for the rock.
It's all like that feature a lot, yeah.
And by the way, the app is free, which is also a nice thing for the group. So you're not buying the premium to get the data.
Back in the corner.
What's the back-end platform for data aggregation? What kind of data do you anticipate being able to aggregate? And have you looked at monetization of the aggregate data?
The back-end data is very, very simple, actually. We have a database that we're using, and it's XML files. That's what we do. It's very, very simple. And in fact, it's so simple that what I've done is created spreadsheets in Excel, and my brothers actually fill the content out in the Excel spreadsheet, and then I just export it to XML and use that. Now, we've got that data file embedded in the application as well as accessible up in the cloud. And so if we ever have to make a quick fix to any of the data, I just put it up in the cloud, and I don't have to go through a week-long, approval process with Apple to get that change out there and get it out there instantaneously.
Plus,
So we did think
live
about
feeds
that.
in there as well. The tour dates is a live feed, so
That's right.
anytime you check the tour dates, it's
So that's right. That's another piece of the data right there. Yeah.
How do you get these apps in the hands of the customers? And what's your marketing strategy there?
Well, the marketing strategy for getting the apps to the customers is basically, we're in the stores, number one, which is one-stop shopping. And any fan that wants to look up their favorite band, they're going to do searches on that. And that's what we see happening, is just going into the marketplace, to the different stores that you do that. Now, with that said, it certainly helps when you get the band backing, right? So you got, being endorsed, Jeff Rotel has over 1 million followers on Facebook. So they were kind enough to say, hey, listen, we got an endorsed app ready for your viewing, and they posted it on Facebook with all the links for download. So we got a big hit there. And we're also looking at having them put all the icons on their website as well. So anybody's going to their website, they'll see the apps that are available there, and then we'll get some downloads there. So those are some of the ways that we can look at it.
because they still get royalties for their albums. Like, for example, on their own website where they go to their own store, there's only 42 albums, right?
That's right.
But we on our app, we list all 72 albums.
Yeah.
So these go out to the Amazon store, iTunes store, and so forth. So if they go through our app to get to the iTunes store, it clicks, and that's how it works.
That's right. Get some monetization from that end of it too. Yeah, right there.
So you're talking a lot about artists. Do you also think about events or like large events like festivals? Because I think those can be very confusing, but they can also...
That's a great idea in terms of, large events that might be happening, revolve the app around those events.
Well, especially if it's a reoccurring event, like the Grand Prix or Big Fest that comes around, your roast.
That might fit, because you got a large base of people that are going to these events, you got a lot of content there, that actually might fit the criteria. So, we were pretty careful in identifying what criteria we feel is going to be, the kind of focus that we want to have on these apps, and I think that might fit too.
Yes, how many downloads do you have so far?
We got a couple thousand so far. And, again, we're just looking at, getting that word out, like you were saying, and working with the band a little bit more to help promote it a little bit more. And I think once that happens, we'll be seeing lots more downloads. We're kind of cautious at this point and going crazy with it, because we really want to get some of the monetization pieces in place. job one was to get the app published, and we did that. And we're ecstatic about that. We got that part done, especially going, cross-platform. So now we'll be looking at, bumping up that volume and downloads and really, hitting it out of the park.
And our downloads are worldwide, which was another amazing thing. In fact, we ran 2 contests. We ran for autographs and CDs, and we had 2 winners in Italy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What else exists for other bands? If they didn't go with you, what are some other bands, other alternatives?
That's a good question. I can answer that question. We went to them with a prototype. In fact, I used the chamber office to conduct our business about a year and a half ago. So that worked out really well. The thing that sold them on us was that we had a working app. Other competition came to them with flip charts and diagrams and nothing that was really real as an app. And that was
And there really is not much in the way of competition, believe it or not. If you start looking for rockstar apps out there, there's a handful. And this really was jaw-dropping for us. We said, oh boy, we got our niche right here. The Rolling Stones got an app, Bon Jovi's got an app, and a few others, and that's about it. So I think we really got an excellent idea here and a lot of potential just on that pack alone.
So all the artists that you've referenced so far are kind of older artists, which is cool.
Yeah.
Are you looking to stay in that market of like boomers, favorites?
No, I mean, as long as it fits that criteria that we talked about. If they have an active tour coming up, they're going to want to sell tickets and music, right? If they have a large following base, that's great. We'll take that. And, so these are the things that we're looking at. So it doesn't really matter. It could be an actor, it could be actors, it could be, really any popular celebrity.
over here, questions and picture.
So are you work for a hire company? Are you charging the bands, or are you just taking a piece of the revenue?
No, the revenue, the arrangement we struck with Jeff Crowdsourced is basically, they said, hey, listen, you can go out indoors, you can use our assets, and you can, basically, do anything you want as far as monetization goes. And we looked at that as a real opportunity, and we can even charge for the app if you want to. But we opted not to do that because we want to get a really good number of downloads. To us, that was most important, is to create our base. So we've toyed with the idea of doing work for hire. I know we probably get 25 grand, I think, per band, but we think there's more potential on building apps and monetizing it ourselves. Because that 25 grand is a one-time thing, whereas if we do it the other way, it's recurring revenue consistently. So we're kind of leaning that direction right now. It might change, we don't know. We have to assess that right here. Absolutely, yeah, you kidding me? Yeah, that's the criteria, perfect, yeah, question, that's it, yeah, back.
You guys have probably already thought about this, but have you considered going more after the record labels as opposed to the individual artists? Because I feel like if you could get one label, they could disseminate you to all of their artists. That's like a home run, or grand slam even.
Yeah, approach. In fact, we have a promoter that does the tour for Jeff Crowdsourced. Also has other properties like Martin Barr, who was from Jeff Crowdsourced.
Richie Blackmore, Deep Purple Labs, that could be in the works.
We are in negotiation with some of that as well.
Yeah. That's a great idea, though, with the record label going with that approach, if we didn't think of that.
Like that.
Yeah, right here.
I'm from Nashville, and I can't help but to think that if your number one bullet point is you need celebrity introductions, that I would encourage you to go spend some time there.
Yeah, good idea.
I was a member of the chamber there, and there's just so many people that are so connected to the music industry there.
Yeah.
So if you can find a way to spend some time there and give this pitch even to the National Chamber, you might have some success.
That's an awesome suggestion. Spend some time in Nashville.
By the way, did you notice the mic that was in the presentation that was Elvis Presley's mic?
What's the deal with the Niagara Falls there?
Yeah, what's the deal with the picture in the background? Anybody from Western New York here? Well, if you recognize it, it's as Niagara Falls, and the reason that's there is because Niagara Falls in that community means power, and we build power.
That's it. That's our branding. In the back, yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit more about your business plan and how you plan to scale this. So what I'm seeing here is you basically created an app, you spent a bunch of time and energy on creating this, and then you approached the band. Is that something that you're going to continue doing and just keep building more apps and then approaching the band?
Well, it seemed to work this time by, like Gary said, having something real to show them. When we showed them, Jeff Crowdsourced said, listen, we've been approached by other people to build apps, and it's been PowerPoint presentations, white papers. but no one has actually showed us a working app. So we started out with the premise of just doing a fan app, you know, and we got done doing it, we said, hey, you know, maybe Chick would like to see this. I mean, it's our passion, we follow their passion, this is our favorite group, you know, between the three brothers. My first concert I went to was, I was 14 years old, they took me there.
Yes, we want to scale, we want to scale.
So, you know, that's it, and that model seemed to resonate very well with them, so I think lesson learned, and I think we're going to do the same thing. Now, what we have is the ability to create that very quickly. There's this tool called Microsoft App Studio. It's all designer-based, and you really can bang out an app very, very quickly, tying in all the social media and all that stuff. That's what it's built for, and that's what we did demo, was like the Windows version.
Then the Xamarin piece would go across platforms, right?
And then, yeah, after we got that, that was what we showed them, and then actually we sent the information over to them, and within 5 hours, they replied back, and they said, this looks great, do you also work with iPhone? And it's like, heck yeah, we do now, and it's for Xamarin, right? So Xamarin then now is the one we're going to be using to build the rest of these apps.
Over here, we have a question.
So I got to ask you, John, I mean, what caused you to get into this at this particular point in your lives? I mean, it seems like you guys must have done some things before this, because this seems fairly new. I mean, what caused this to be the direction you went? Obviously, you've got great connection to the music industry, but I mean, give us a backstory a little bit on how you got
Sure,
there.
yeah, we actually went to a meeting one time by James Bernstein over the Microsoft office, and how he became a millionaire writing apps. He has a golf app he wrote. And Gary and I attended that, and he said, you know what, let's form Fustino Brothers, man, let's write some apps. And that's exactly what got us into the app business. And I've been a programmer my entire career. Day one, when Microsoft Windows Phone came out, I had 30 apps in the store. I know how to globalize apps, so again, spreading the ability to have these run worldwide. I know how to do that. We've architected that into the app, and we know how to build apps. I mean, that's really the bottom line. I think we have a lot of things in there. The instrumentation, the error reporting. Anybody's got an error halfway around the world, we know it instantaneously.
In fact, we were able to tell the producer, James Anderson, that his app was down on the tour days, because when that live feed comes from the website,
we get notified.
We get notified of that, and so we tell them that their site is down.
Yeah, they said, oh yeah, we had to reboot our Apache server or whatever, you know. So I think you were an example.
So I'm a bit confused. Is it one app per artist, or is this a platform for all artists to be searched, and it's like a database so you can find their apps?
The question is it one app per artist, or can it be distributed
Can
to
I find
some?
everyone? Is it that they have their own kind of site on the app?
Well, the answer is both yes and no. But there is some customization there. Obviously, all the graphics and things would be customized for that particular artist. But the engine behind it is pretty vanilla. I mean, in terms of we could plug in the Rolling Stones for Jethro Tull, for
I've always built 8 different apps just with that in mind, you know. So really, the only thing we would have to change is the data and then the artwork in the app, of course. And but the guts of it, all the hard parts are done. We've stamped out a good model, right, to replicate in a very rapid manner. You know, we feel we can really bang these out. We can get some more help in the way of programmers, in the way of you know, other resources. I mean, that's where we're at right now. We're looking to, you know, how can we scale this thing? And we feel we got a great idea, and we just need a little help and direction, you know, in that particular area.
Money?
Money's good. Money's always good. Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to really make it go expand, you know.
I just wanted to give you some social proof. I was at Tampa Code Camp when you presented, and just for the room, when he presented, all of those coders sat there with their eyeballs this big and appreciated everything that Russ said, what he learned, and the tips and tricks that he was able to share within the industry. So he knows what he's doing, and it was well received by his peers in the industry.
Well, thank you very much. It's very nice to say that. I've always felt that, you know, sharing your pain, it comes back, and it really is tenfold. And you know, you know, by me sharing that information, you know, the pain I've gone through, guess what? You're educating developers that might be able to help you out, right, down the road. I mean, you're showing them how you did it. It's not, you know, rocket science, but it is a proven model, and that, I think, was really the
It is simplicity. We got Excel spreadsheets, we got databases, we're proofing videos. We make sure that there's quality. Our other brother, he goes through endless hours of video just to make sure that they're quality. When they're on our app, they work. And so if you did your own search on the internet, you brought up Jethro Tull, you're going to bring up, you're on your own, you can bring up 50 videos, but probably 45 of those are not going to run.
Yeah. Well, that's it, man. You do a Google on your favorite band. I mean, you get a list a mile long and you don't know what to do. And so it's nice to consolidate and say, hey, these are great videos. You want to check every one of these out. And that's where we're at. And in terms of my own experience too, I used to work for Microsoft for a dozen years. So I gained a lot of knowledge there as a developer evangelist and talking about technologies and training folks there too.
We have a question here, Mr. Secretary.
Oh, I just clarifying with her earlier question. If I download the Jeff Tall app and you have a couple other artists, I only have access to Jeff Tall's data, right?
That's correct. Yeah, well, in our case, Jeff was all Andy and Anderson, so both of them.
Because me as a consumer wouldn't want to download multiple apps. I have multiple people that I'm like, oh, I love their stuff, I'd love to see their tour.
We could sure look at packaging these up, no doubt. You know, we could say, classic rock pack.
And then you need the Fustino Brothers app.
Yeah.
I can know this is a separate platform for other artists to be accessed.
Yes, yeah.
We'll keep that in consideration.
That's a great suggestion, having multiple groups in one app, and, you know, we can maybe charge for that, even, you know, because we got the base app done, and we still have the individual apps for people that want to download those.
That's great.
Yeah.
We have somebody over here. So I'm going to tag on this conversation too. So I think what you're doing by providing a white label app for particular artists, I think that's the way to go, because there's an app coming out called Starshot. Anybody knows Kevin Harrington and the company that he's involved in? Starshot is going to be a portal through which you can access multiple artists and all their merchandise and all their videos and all their concerts and buy tickets. And he's going to get pushed out to like 7 million Sprint phones and get hard-coded into the phone. So he's sort of got a really good edge on that market. I think what you guys are providing, that white labeled app for diehard fans, to me, that's the way to go. So maybe in the future, if you want to do a packaged portal app where you can actually implement it to, I think the white label right now, that's the way to go. You're showing the artist we care about you individually, specific. You're going to come up with somebody types Van Halen in the search, there's the Van Halen app. I think you guys have your niche nailed down.
Thank you. Star was it? Star what?
So Starshot.
Starshot. Okay, we'll look into that. But yeah, you know, we felt the same way because, you know, we're avid Tull fans, so we wrote the app from that perspective. And we said, hey, you know, they only got 40 albums on their official discography of the site. But, you know, Rich, our brother, he found a ton of other albums out there. And so we updated that. And we said, oh, we got 70 CDs out there. Same with the videos. They only have 20 official videos. 20, and they spanned 6 decades. And it's like, what is up with this? Well, you know, they got on board late, you know, realizing copyrights and all that stuff. So they now, and there's a ton of fan videos. There's like thousands out there. And so what we did is we handpicked the ones we thought were really good. You know, why you dropped guitar and you started playing flute. That's a classic, you know, all that kind of stuff.
If you're linking to other people's videos and such, how do you deal with the copyright? Because the person that shot it actually owns the copyright.
You're
and
correct.
you're now
Yeah, these are all based on, that's a good question, the copyright question on the videos is actually, our source of videos is YouTube. So we follow the same licensing that YouTube does. And anybody searching, you know, for videos on YouTube, that's what our app is doing. It's basically searching, we have our own playlist we put together of YouTube videos. And that is it. So we're following the same model as someone just searching for, you know, music on YouTube. Yes?
I'd like to know what the community can do for the Fustino Brothers.
Hit the spot. Well, funny you should ask that. Number one, download the app. And number two, we need celebrity introductions and guidance on scaling and funding, marketing and promotion ideas, premium advertising sponsors, and definitely 5 stars is good, 1 star is bad, okay, on the rating. And comment is always good. You know, we really leverage a lot in the developer community. Like she said, I have been doing a lot of seminars here locally, and a lot of those folks, you know, especially when we did the fan app, I sent an email out on this alias and like, can you please, you know, put a comment up there. So we had like 40 like ratings like instantly from people in the local developers community, and that goes a long way. You know, you see anybody goes out to an app there, and then finally we got you know, the link to the slide deck. We'll make that active tonight. So that's what you can do for us, and we want to thank you very much for.
Thanks again for coming to 1 Million Cups, guys. And we always want to thank Kawa, our coffee supporter, for almost 2 years now. October will be our 2-year anniversary, so we look forward to seeing everybody. And yeah, be on the lookout for the email this week from Harley for the presenters for today, and Tech Garage is offering a free co-working space today, so come check us out. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.